Hey, what's up guys? So next month Halloween is coming and I thought why not show you how you can draw a human skull for your Halloween designs. Now I'm using Affinity Designer, but you don't have to use it. You can use any software or even paper and pencil. So the first thing that I'm going to do is just draw a simple circle here, a perfect circle, and then I'm going to simply align it at the center here. I think it's too big, so I'm going to scale it down a bit. Yeah, I think that looks fine. Again, I'm going to align it at the center, remove any kind of fill color and give it a stroke color. I think 4 or 5 point strokes is fine, and let's just make it red because this is going to serve as a, you can see, guideline. Next I'm going to, let me just make it even smaller because the goal that I have in my mind is to just first draw this skull shape and then convert it into vector, or you can say trace over that and create a vector shape. So that is why I'm just going to start it with smaller shape, and if you are not intending to create a vector skull shape, you need to make these shapes bigger. Next I'm going to create a square shape and I'm going to make it perfectly to touch the edges of the circle, top side and the left side. As you can see, if I bring my cursor here, you can see that I can get these guides, vertical green and horizontal red lines. So I'm just going to make sure that it touches the other sides as well. Now in order to make sure that both are of the same and perfectly touching each other, it's not really necessary, but just to make it look good. So the ellipse, I have 337.3 points width and height, and the rectangle shape I also have the same size, which means that they are at the perfect position and of perfect size. Next I'm going to draw a triangle. It does not matter what size. I'm just going to align it at the center. Then I'm going to resize the top part, and as soon as it touches the top part, I'm going to leave it. The same thing, I'm going to go towards the base of the triangle. Then I'm going to resize it to touch the right side and then the left side, like that. Next I'm going to create a copy of this triangle by pressing Ctrl J and resize it, so something like that towards the lower end, or you can say, as you can see that the triangle line is crossing the circle line, so something about that, almost something like that. It does not have to be perfect, and I think that looks fine. And the next process is to create a vertical line, and this is going to just serve as a guide, like that. And now that I have all these shapes, I'm just going to group them together, and then I'm going to go into this pixel persona towards the top left. You can see that I'm going to click here, and I then go into this drawing mode or pixel art mode. So in that, I'm going to create a skull shape here. So I'm going to use this brush tool that is called the paintbrush tool, and in the top towards the right I have this brushes tab already open. If it is not open, you can click and it will open, and you need to choose the basic brushes, and you can select any of these. I think I would use this rounded one, like that, and I'm going to choose the color to be, let's say, maybe slightly bluish, something different than the red. And let's see how it works. So it is a little bit thinner. I do not want it, so I'm going to make it a little bigger, and you can increase the size of the brush at the top as width, or you can press the left and the right bracket keys. And now I'm going to draw an eye shape here that is going to be almost in this region. So the one thing that I would recommend here is to copy the same thing on the other side. So if you're drawing on a piece of paper or maybe in another software, you have to draw anything on the left side, you need to draw the same thing on the right. But if you're using Affinity Designer, we have at the top the symmetry option. So I'm going to check that symmetry option, make sure that the number here is 1, and make sure that you check this mirror option as well. And let's just lock it as well, or unlock, that doesn't matter, because let's just lock it because we do not want to mess it. So now whenever I draw one on the one side here, let's say, the same thing happens on the other side. So that is very helpful. And now I'm going to try to draw an eye shape here on this location, and something like that. So it does not have to be perfect. You can again remove certain parts of it, and then, or you can say, erase it. And as I said, I'm going to create you can say that a vector shape here, so that is why I'm not really concerned about that. So I'm just going to draw a rough line of, or the outline of the eye, and maybe make it a little bit smaller like that. And then I'm going to, over here, simply, or on the right side, it does not matter because we have the symmetry option checked, we are going to draw a line that is almost like a 45 degrees, so something like that. And then I'm going to touch this circle here, and then as the eyes are here round, so I'm going to make a line that is a bit round here, and then goes like that. So a bit round around the circle or the eye, and then like that. And then I'm going to draw a vertical line starting from the center of the eye, almost from the center, and try to make it perfect vertical and bring it down below this square shape. And then I'm going to draw a little bit curved shape here like that. And then on this curved shape, I'm going to draw the teeth. So starting from here like that. It does not have to be perfect because we are then going to create it perfectly in the vector shape. But if you want to just have this raster shape, you can make sure that they are perfect. Same thing on the lower side like that. And then I'm going to draw the jaw shape here. And for that, I'm just going to start a line from here and then touch this area like that, a little bit curved shape closer to this line. And then as we have this line that we have kind of like a curved line, we are going to extend it and touch this line over there. And then if you can see that we have this kind of like a corner here. So from there, I'm going to bring a vertical line downwards, and then a little bit kind of like a jaw here, and then make it horizontal, or you can say slightly level it like that. And we can again make it perfect later on when we are in the process or at the point of tracing it. Next, I'm just simply going to create a, you can say, a nose shape here, kind of like a heart shape like that. And yeah, the shapes are almost ready here at this point. So this blue line, or these blue outlines, were just going to give us the basic shape of the skull. And as you can see that in the layers panel, we have everything in the separate layer. So at the top above the group, I'm going to create a new pixel layer, and I'm going to trace the skull shape, the whole thing, separately, so that I can use it later on when I'm creating the vector drawing. And before I do that, I just need to reduce the opacity of this group so that it just gives me a hint of the guidelines, but the main work is going to be done on the new pixel layer. So I'm going to make this one black, and just try to follow the outlines of this circle like that. And I'm just going to make sure that the skull sketch looks good. Next, let's just make this one, the nose here, and let's just make the eyes. So before this one, actually we draw the lines and everything to give us an outline or the basic guideline of this shape. And now I'm going to create this sketch of this one, which will help me create the vector shape. So make sure that the sketch is perfect. Now as you can see here, over here we have these perfect lines, like straight lines, 45 degrees. But instead of that, we are going to make them a little bit curved. So I'm going to make it a little bit curved here, like that, not perfectly in a straight line. Give it a curve, and then over the inside I'm going to again create that curved shape like that. Okay, next we can draw the teeth. So of course we need to work on the teeth areas a bit more, and I would like to work on it at the later stage when I'm just creating the vector drawing. So at this moment I'm just going to make it just a highlight, or you can say a small guideline of it. It does not have to be perfect, and as you can see that it will not be perfect because we have this symmetrical line going on at the center, and that might mess it up. Anyway, so you get the idea that if you are drawing the teeth, you should work on them later on, and you are perfecting the sketch. I think that looks fine, and then I'm just going to draw this line here, and the next thing is that we need to draw the jaw. So again I'm going to give it slight curve here. It does not have to be a curve, and then make it like that, or you can give it even more curves to give it that the perfect looking shape, or kind of like a badass looking shape. And let's just erase this lower line. So this is kind of the shape that I want. So a little bit curve here and a bit of curve here, curvature at this point, like that. So guys, you see the skull shape is ready, and the rest is just giving it a little bit of details. So I would like to give the details later on, but just to show you that you can even draw here. So I'm just going to give small lines here like that. I think I need to adjust the brush because I do not want it to be same size line. So I'm going to go into the more options of the brush, and the dynamics I'm going to, let's say, increase the size jitter to the 100%, maybe a little bit lower, like that. And I'm using a graphics tablet, that way I have this pressure option, but anyway, it is just a guideline. So something like that, a bit of maybe here, and then if it does not look good, that's fine, we can erase it and then move on. Anyway, so you get the idea how you can easily draw this skull shape inside Affinity Designer or even on a pencil. And let's just go back to the designer persona here, and now you can see that we have kind of like a cool looking skull shape. Of course the details need to be need some work, but yeah, this was just a rough sketch, and then you can work on it and create a vector shape if you want, and perfect some lines which look weird, but yeah, I do not want to go into that because I think you already know how to do that. And this tutorial was, again, it was not the scope of this tutorial to show you how you can create a vector shape. This was just to show you how you can draw a perfect looking skull shape, human skull shape, a badass looking skull shape, and use it for your designs. So guys, if you have found this video to be helpful, make sure that you like the video and let me know in the comments below what do you think about it. And hopefully guys, I'll see you in the next video, and thank you for watching.